Have you ever wondered if there was some magical part of you that you've been unable or afraid to access? Have you ever felt or been told you're crazy? Here's a thought to ponder. What if you're not? What if every imaginary friend, every letter to Santa Claus, every fairy or elf you saw as a child was your inner self reaching out to the spiritual world? What if your blocks are really a bridge? What if your wounds are really your windows? What if all your anxiety and your trauma are there to elevate you to something greater than yourself? I'm here to tell you, you're not crazy, you're connected. Hear from the rock stars of the New Age world about that moment when they stepped into their power and how you can step into yours too. Here on Crazy Connected with your host, Bridget Leroy. Welcome to this episode of Crazy Connected. I'm your host, Bridget Leroy, and I have a special treat for you today, or special treat for me today, because they're my very, very good friends, Ray and Nina Crist of the Jaguar Path. The Jaguar Path is my chosen path as well. I've been studying with Ray and Nina for like 6 years or something now. It's crazy how long I've known you. And if there's anybody in the world who's crazy connected, it's these two. Really excited to have you on. Thanks for joining us, Ray and Nina. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello, thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, coming to us from Greece, all the way from Greece.
All the way from Greece, from Epidavros, Greece, right in front of the temple of Hippocrates.
Well, that's not, I was going to say, well, that sounds hypocritical of you, but that's not what it is. Hippocrates is the god of medicine, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hippocrates is the guy that wrote the Hippocratic Oath that all doctors still till today have to take in order to practice the medicine.
Well, that's just because I happen to know you very well. Don't you have like the Hippocratic thing on your calf, like a tattoo, Ray? Isn't that weird that you found a house there and that's like you have the snakes and the staff, don't you?
The caduceus, the serpents with the staff, that are a symbol of medicine, and it was created at the time where this temple was created. So not totally weird. I did it because I love this place, and we've been coming here for forever. And of course, we managed to find our house, one of the only two houses that are here in front of the temple, and now it's ours, and we live here.
That's so amazing. Well, Ray, I'm going to start with you and then go to you, Nina. But Ray, your origin story is one that I'm very familiar with. I know that you were a senior teacher at Kripalu for many, many years, which is where I met you. But tell us a little bit about how you got into this business, because you were in the world of high fashion, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I was a Vogue photographer. I was a fashion and advertisement photographer in Athens, Greece, through the 90s, in the golden age here. But in 2003, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and I was given 3 months to live, 90 days to live. And of course, that stopped me on my tracks. Of course, that paused everything. I'll fast forward, because we're talking now 21 years later. I want to say that what I did is I gave up everything. I took a backpack and I decided to travel the world to find shamans, sorcerers, healers, miracle makers, anything that I could find, anyone that I could find. For clarity, for your audience and for all, I did one surgery at the National Institute of Health. I entered into this study with the National Institute of Health. They were interested in my case. I did one surgery, but from there on, I traveled down into Peru and worked with shamans of 3 different tribes and different lineages. Till today, they are my beloved teachers. Till today, I love them dearly because they were the ones that helped me go through this. And I will say that very quickly, very, very quickly, what they did is they put me in the driver's seat. I was going from doctor to doctor. I was asking for people to help. I was looking for a miracle. I was looking to put that power of my healing outside. And here I was after my surgery, and I am in front of Don Francisco's feet. I'm kneeling on his feet. Don Francisco is a elder from the Quero Nations people, and this is up in the Andes in the Sacred Valley. And I say, please heal me. I have cancer, I'm dying. And he said to me, I can't heal you, but I can train you how to become a shaman and you could heal yourself. And it was, go ahead.
Well,
Yes.
I know. I just wanted to say, I mean, that is such an amazing story, and that's what set you on your path. And it's really amazing because shaman, and I learned this from Ray Crist, really means the knower. It kind of seems to be somewhat corrupted now into being someone either storming the Capitol with horns on his head and face paint, or someone who administers plant medicine. And I guess both of those can be true, but it's also true that it's simply it's knowing yourself, right? Know thyself, and you will know the secrets of the universe. Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll say that someone that's storming the Capitol is not a shaman. That's politics, it's violence, it's nothing anyone shaman would do. I say a shaman that's administering plant medicine and is doing it for several lineage, for several generations in a row and lives in the jungle. That's what he or she is by definition. But I do agree with you, but both the word shaman has really just either gotten watered down or it's confused or. And at the same time, yes, there's also the phenomenon of tourist shamans or people that in the West that go for a journey down into Peru, have a ayahuasca ceremony, and then come back and say, I am a shaman. I think everyone is a shaman, if you really ask me. Everyone is a shaman.
Well,
Everyone that
well, that I think that's what you teach in the Jaguar Path is that everyone has the ability to, to be their own shaman, right? I mean, that's what you were taught was how to heal yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Everyone can be the shaman. I think that we all have two voices in our head. The shaman, the knower within, is wise voice, and the narrator, the chattering voice who never shuts up upstairs and always and usually has a negative opinion and a criticism, either
Right.
about your own self or about everyone around you.
So, what was the moment? Was there a moment when you realized maybe you weren't crazy and that you were connected, Ray?
You know what, Bridget? There was several of these moments, several really moments that there was this huge aha, accompanied with a big sensation inside my body of just like a feeling getting taller, seeing clearer, just this big ahas. And there was this, I want to say 4 or 5 moments that were really critical. That when Don Francisco said, I can't heal you, but I can train you to be a shaman, was the first one, was the first glimpse of one where, if anything, I stood up off my knees and I said, well, then I'm going to be your best student. In other words, there was that moment that turned where I realized that I had a say, and or if anything, there's one person trusting me in front of me, giving me trust, and saying, you could do this. Why don't you take the wheel? And it was the first time, and now it's up to 2 years from the moment I was diagnosed, my surgery and all that, where I'm like, you know what? I have to do it. I get this. I got it immediately. So I began apprenticeship with him, and as I said, I'm still his apprentice, and I still love him dearly. And he is not my guru. He is a companion in life. He's sometimes like a father, other times like a brother. He's helped me, and I've helped him. Years later, I've been able to support him and help him in many ways. And I say that because I've had the opportunity to really express my gratitude to him that way.
Thanks, Ray. That's an amazing story. And I do know I've had the incredible joy and honor of studying with Don Francisco through you, and just have loved meeting all of the Keros, and just take my Pecha Kuti mesa carrying shaman Jaguar Path seriously. So thank you so much. So literally thousands and thousands of people by this point have trained under Ray and under Nina. Nina's origin story is a little different. We're going to move on to Nina. While Ray was taking pictures of beautiful models in Greece, Nina was in the backwoods of Maine on a almost militant dojo, working with horses, chopping wood, carrying water, all of that stuff. So can you tell me a little bit about your journey, Nina, and your journey to the Jaguar Path, your journey to connection?
Thank you, Bridget. And yes, From such a young age, I absolutely love nature and was drawn to movement. And so at 17, I stumbled upon a beautiful dojo set in the Maine woods that offered a non competitive nature approach to the martial arts. And when I say martial arts, it was really my first taste was a women's self defense 6-week series. And it was to prepare me to leave. I was heading off to Ringe, New Hampshire for college, and I wanted to get some self-defense before leaving Maine. And that was really like that moment of connection with something ancient, this ancient wisdom of Tai Chi and the Tao was a seed that got planted in my heart and really, really touched me in such a profound way. And it was the seed that then became really my life's mission, which was to share this wisdom with as many people as I could. I found myself teaching, training, and really connecting deeply with nature. We had 5 horses that I had the honor, like the Karate Kid, to muck out the stalls and carry the water, and I chopped wood and all the things you can think of in a traditional martial arts experience as a disciple. And in the 20 years that I stayed as a student and beginning to lead the curriculum of even the black belt students, at the age of 37, it was time for me to really shift gears. And that's where I met Ray. And the two of us began talking about ancient wisdom, and we haven't stopped talking since. And it was and I feel like, what excites me is that as I was reading in the ancient texts, it would validate, it would affirm things that I had experienced in nature or in my own training. And it was always the ancient text that would validate these truths. And right before I met Ray, I remember reading in one of the ancient texts, I believe it was the I Ching, how martial arts was one of the first forms of shamanism, derived from nature. And not, you don't think typically it's not thought of as a form of shamanism, but as the Tao, as the Tai Chi, as all of the forms of martial arts are mimicking nature, it is our ability to really access and activate nature within ourselves and allow us to have that deep connection. So it was like I read that, and then I met Ray, and then he's telling me about these amazing medicine men and women that were just wow. And so the Jaguar Path was a really beautiful opportunity for me to continue to share what I love with the man that I love and an amazing community that I love. And so I'm just really grateful for the way that it's flowed.
It's amazing. I mean, obviously, you guys are like the nexus point. You guys are kind of my crazy connected point because, there was I mean, I haven't really told my story, but it's like, growing up, I thought I saw things, I thought I heard things, I felt connection to animals, to trees, to woodland creatures, and I was always building fairy houses and writing letters to Santa Claus, all those kind of things, and just the forces that be, not through any cruelty or anything, just were like, are you crazy? No, don't tell anybody that you did, they'll put you away, don't do that. And it wasn't until I was at Kripalu, just by mistake walking into one of Ray's classes, where I got called up. So how weird is that? I mean, other people had their hands up, and I got called up. And before Ray started some energy work on me, I said, "I just want you all to know, I think this is complete horse shit." And Ray laughed. He's laughing again, and that kind of endeared him to me. And at that exact same moment, strangely enough, my husband had gone kayaking with someone down at the lake, and it was raining, and he was the only one who showed up, and Nina was teaching the kayaking. So Nina and Eric were bonding in the rain in a kayak, and Ray and I were bonding in his class. And right afterwards, I walked up to Ray. I mean, it was that quick. I mean, what you did and what you showed me that I was capable of doing, I wanted more of that, like right away. Like I walked right up to Ray and I said, "Do you teach this stuff?" And he was just starting one of his Jaguar Path 9-month trainings. So I took it, and I guess I was the last part of the last face-to-face, because that was in 2019, and then the second half of that went to Zoom like everybody else in the world.
Yep.
And yeah, so tell me about like how you guys, because this is the amazing thing about Jaguar Path people. This is the amazing thing that separates it. It combines the Andean, which is what Ray was talking about, the Peruvian. It combines the Indian because of the yoga. Ray and Nina both taught yoga. Ray was a senior teacher at Kapalu for 17 years, and you both are incredibly knowledgeable about Hindu mythology and honoring that. And then there's also the Asian portion because you've worked Tai Chi and the Tao Te Ching and the Taoist masters, all of that. And Jaguar Path covers all of that. Tell me a little bit about the connection of these ancient wisdoms.
Oh, absolutely. You said it all, but I just want to say our audience, for your audience, is that we have these, we compartmentalize things and we say, okay, well, this is happening in Peru, and that's what the yogis do, or that's what the Chinese do with their acupuncture, and that's what the others with martial arts are doing. In essence, if you go back from 7,000 years and further back, what you'll find is the first universities of the world. Because there's a tendency for modern people to think that in the past people were ignorant and that now we're really smart. Well, in the past people would make marble temples, and now we're making cement things that fall with the first earthquake. So I want to say that these are sciences, and what's happened is in several locations around the world, and this was my big aha, being really immersed in yoga and in the texts of yoga. I go to the shamans and I start learning the shamanic teachings, and they're absolutely the same. So when you go to martial arts, the Taoists, and I'll of course let you speak to that as a master of the house. You always give way to the black belt of the house. It's a smart thing to do. But I want to say that the Taoists created martial arts and acupuncture and the whole of Chinese medicine. The yogis created Ayurveda and that medicine. The idea is, and then the shamans of Peru created all this medicine plants and studied essentially, these are again the ancient sciences that studied physiology, neurology, and psychology. And what do you know, all these three areas of the world have also really, really complicated and in-depth studies of astrology. Now, their knowledge on the nervous system, on the meridian system, on the internal organs, all three of these yogis, the Taoist martial artists and the shamans, and an astrology has not changed. This modern science has not really moved things more. Rather, what we've been able to do, and especially the last 50 years, and I'm happy to have been a part and be a part of this era, is that finally we've been developing some equipment and some machines that can actually measure this. And you know, where it was 50 years ago, people would say, you know what, acupuncture is a bunch of BS and it doesn't work and da-da-da-da. Now we can measure this. When people would do meditation for 20,000 years, now we have CAT scans and MRIs at the NIH, and we say, oh wow, this thing works. So now we're able to catch up with what has happened. So again, sciences are ancient and it's absolutely nothing new. So, and they're all shamanic being the knowers, like you just said. Yeah. So the scientists, these are the scientists, those who sit and patiently study the nature of nature itself. Mm-hmm. How are we built?
That's so amazing. And now I understand. So the Jaguar Path has recently become an accredited course that you can get a master's degree in. Is that, Nina, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, it's actually, we're very excited to be able to be part of the shift in the educational system. And really, we were invited to be part of the Global Accreditation Council, which is a group of educators that are really looking to support higher education in areas of, I want to say, deep study in areas that are going to really augment what people's life mission, what they're doing, and supporting people on their paths. And the Jaguar Path School we were asked for our curriculum to be included in this master's and or PhD program at the Ubiquity University. So now students can go through and write their dissertation and earn their PhD through our program alongside the coursework with Ubiquity and the advisors that are supporting the students in that degree path. And it's awesome. And it's one of these things where as ambassadors of Mother Earth, as earth keepers with the lineage of the Caros, and standing in the seat of really being a living bridge and bridging people from their modern world to this ancient wisdom and saying, okay, how can this support you in your day-to-day life? And now for that to be recognized at a PhD and master's degree level is really exciting, not only for us in our school in the lineage of these ancient wisdom, but for our education system and for the people, because it really validates people's intuition of wanting to dive deeper into these wisdom practices to support whatever they're doing. And it's really profound. And even putting words to it, this is an opportunity where the degree is in modern shamanism and the science of healing. So people are able to really dive into the quantum physics, get into the mechanisms of why these tools work and how this medicine not only addresses the physical, but also the emotional, the energy body, the nervous system, the endocrine system. And so really getting deep into the microcosm of the body and of the individual being, and then seeing how that gets reflected out into the macrocosm, and coming back to what you said at the beginning of to know thyself. And that's really truly the ultimate outcome of the Jaguar Path school. In learning this ancient wisdom, we allow each of us to connect more deeply with our true selves and be able to express and become more of our true nature.
Yeah. So we have about 5-6 minutes left, and I just wanted to ask you, or kind of lead the conversation, if I may. How do you guys feel crazy connected today? I bet it has something to do with water. Well, tell me what you're doing when you're not teaching Jaguar Path.
Yeah. So here we are in Greece, connecting with the ancient temples of Greece, really seeing and feeling into the parallels of all the ancient wisdom coming right back to the birthplace of healing. And Ray, at an early age, got his skipper's license and began sailing the Greek islands. And now we offer a moving meditation with augmented by deep wisdom of the ancient temples and just really these sailing retreats. Yeah, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I love sailing, and this goes back a long way to Odysseus. So there's an Odysseus journey that we take. So when we're not teaching, we're sailing the islands and visiting these amazing ancient temples. And like I said in the beginning, we were blessed to find this house as we were looking to buy something in Greece, and we bought a house right in front of the temple of Hippocrates and Asclepius. Asclepius was the god of healing, and Hippocrates was the first physician that really modernized, quote unquote, medicine in the world. He still is, and again, like I said earlier, even to get your license as a doctor today, you have to take the Hippocratic oath. Yeah. So a lot of the times you'll find us walking in the temple, meditating, practicing our yoga or Tai Chi, or we will be sailing with friends and students, exploring all this beauty that is essential to life.
And I can just say from experience, there is nothing like taking a lot of people want to go, I want to go sailing in Greece. But so, you're jumping in the water, you're eating the food, you may be having a glass of wine, but it is different when you are walking around temples with Ray and Nina, doing Tai Chi and yoga and meditating and learning about the history from Ray. And, it's just such a beautiful, incredible, unique experience that you can't find anywhere else. And it's just amazing because you guys have the Jaguar Path, which is kind of its own animal now, and then you found this other little branch, which isn't really Jaguar Path, but it's still so connected, right? It's still shamanism in a way. You're connecting to nature and to the ancient ways, right?
And to living, absolutely, and right like what you said in the beginning, I think that's where it's all at. It's like when you were a kid and you felt you saw things or you knew things, and there was a moment that was taken away for all of us. And then we become the grown-ups that are not connected. The idea is that that connection is right there, and although it's not in common sense and people are afraid of it or step away from it, the moment you lean into it, there's just so many paths, so many avenues that can awaken it and allow you to be grounded in understanding the physics. It's not metaphysics, the physics of all things that surround you, and allows you to engage in life in a very different way.
Absolutely. Ray and Nina, that was too quick. We'll have to have you back. And just so grateful. How can people find out more about Jaguar Path, about your sailing adventures, about getting a master's degree, about taking the 9-month cohort? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, we are on social media. We have jaguarpath.com is our website. Everything is there, and you can find us on social media as well, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're jaguarpath.com. If you want to reach out to us, evolve@jaguarpath.com. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you, Bridget. Thank you for being the bridge. And I am so excited about Crazy Connected.
Thank you,
Thank you so much for coming on. You guys are such an important part of my story. I just love you. So thank you again.
We love you.
We love you. Thank you.
Mwah.
Have an awesome day.
You too.